Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today, we finally got the framework for our escape plan. Individual details are still a bit light, but thanks to our mysterious friend, we know we need to cozy up to the local homunculus, apparently one of the power players in this particular part of Camargue. But before we get stuck into that, we need to track down the rest of our companions. And we do have some light hints as to where they might be, though I think of the three, the most solid is Pask, who apparently is somewhere amidst discarded corpses, which does seem to point us back towards the lower areas where we first arrived. So we'll start with that, and then just kind of feel our way out from there. I mean, honestly, just getting Pask back will open a lot of doors. Right, and then we also still have to get this taken care of, which I do suspect is going to require the assistance of the local homunculi. Oh, nearly it. Wow, that was quick. The Eldari runs a hand over her face before turning to you. Her pale skin is tightly stretched over the bones of her skull. Her eyes have lost their glimmer, and her neck is stooped under an unseen burden. And yet, you still recognize her. Yurliet Lanibis, your former companion, and the reason for your imprisonment within these dark walls. Yurliet glances at you, her eyes widening slightly, but that is the only change you detect in her tense expression. Whatever emotions she may be feeling, she is suppressing them well. Elentak. Yurliet. What exactly am I seeing here? Learning. Mastering that which will bring me closer to my roots. Yurliet's voice vibrates with tension. The blade in her hand is shaking, and her knuckles are turning bone white. One of the Xenos who are watching Yurliet torture the silent victim steps forward. Did the monkey come for a taste of pain? Then you must have patience. Our little guest still has much suffering to extract from her first victim. Your prey is far from empty, Yurliet. Do not hold back. Yurliet grips the blade in her hand and immediately winces. Her spirit stone is emanating a red glow. She touches it with an expression of anguish. The suffering overwhelms me. No more. I cannot bear it any longer. What exactly is the purpose of this? Why are you forcing her to do this? Just another form of torture? Our little guest is learning the art she and her kin lost aeons ago. The Drukhari gloats in a cloying tone of voice. The art of delight, unhampered by meaningless taboos. The art of extracting rapture from another's flesh against the will of its owner. The art of walking the path of the Drukhari. Isn't that right, my lost Asuriani? The path of the Drukhari. Yurliet echoes the Xenos' words, and the sound of her voice is as feeble and hollow as an echo. Once Yurliet opens her soul to our ways, she will have a home once more. Among our kind. If she refuses, well, then she will have to give up that bauble she wears as a flimsy shield against she who thirsts. But there is no cause for alarm. When we are done here, our little sister will need her spirit stone no longer. Yurliet, I really don't want to get bogged down in whatever you've got going on here, but me and the rest of my retinue are leaving. You're free to come with if you'd like. Her gaze is incredulous. Are you inviting me to come with you? Inviting me to the stars, Elentech? The Drukhari grabs Juliet by the shoulder. You are losing focus, sister. Your spirit stone is at Oh. Juliet is swift and precise. The blade pierces the Drukhari's throat, and he collapses, clutching the wound and drenching the floor with his blood. His kin move to draw their weapons, but freeze, transfixed by the sight of their brother thrashing in agony. Enough! It is hard to tell whether Juliet is shouting or wailing. Enough of this senseless, aimless torture. This is not my path, and it will never be mine. She turns to you with a faint glimmer of hope on her gaunt face. But first I must ask, Elentech. After what I did, drive away the night of my blindness with the morning rays of clarity, have you truly found the strength to forgive me? No. Forgiveness is earned, not freely given. I'm simply inviting you to come with us, and we'll see where things go from there. Juliet nods warily. You are right. Explanations and understanding are now ours to pursue. And yet, your willingness to take me back astounds me, Elentech, and it frightens me in equal part. Asurion, heed my word. I will not fail your faith in me again. The spirit stone in her breast flashes and slowly dims. And now, let us walk away from the nightmares that sink their stings into the darkest recesses of my ravaged soul. Yes, let us do that thing. Bye, guys. So, you good? I'm sure he's fine. Nothing a little R&R won't fix. I'm sure I'll be safe out here in the middle of this Drukhari walkway. And also, we got our Juliet back, albeit bereft of equipment as per usual. We'll kit her out as best we can, but the important thing is we have our awareness and Xenos lore specialist back. Also, level up in the queue, so one sec whilst I figure out what we're doing with that. Okay. First, we'll go ahead and grab that plus 10 in Xenos lore. Obviously an important skill, given our current location. And as for talent, we'll go ahead and grab Critical Chain. That one grants a crit bonus to all nearby allies whenever she lands a critical kill. Aside from that, not a whole lot of equipment I could really parcel out to her, but I might grab Drukhari Proficiency once she gets her next common trait slot. I'm undecided on that, though. I'm not sure it's worth the investment. I mean, it does seem likely that we'll end up finding our gear before we gain another level. Hello there. Hey, buddy. You just spying on us from across the courtyard? That's not weird. Oh. Okay, well. That's the second time he spotted us and then pulled a runner. An empty vial is lying on the ground. It contained ripetropine, a stimulant that heightens one's perception of moving objects, but hinders their ability to see stationary obstacles. Interesting. Why would that be important? I wonder. We're either being spied on or hunted. Those are the two most obvious explanations. Oh. Something new. What do we have here?
The Emperor favors me today.
Reaver's tendons. Tendons enhanced with synthetic thread, 10 times more resilient than regular tissue, and capable of withstanding tremendous strain during flight. Which would play into a yet another... Oh. One of the corpses in the pile catches your eye. You manage to cut the synthetic sinew, an expensive augment, out of the Reaver's broken body. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, once again, playing into... oh, my goodness, okay. Well, Yurliet, you know, personal quibbles aside, it is good to have you back. That awareness is already paying off.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Though, I was really hoping you'd improve our chances on that ballistic check. Yeah, I think we'll hold off on that until we do recover our gear. That'll give us an extra plus 20 on the check. Pascal! The crooked figure, wrapped in crimson, looks nothing like the Pascal Hanuman you know. Before, his silhouette, hunched though it may have been under the weight of his potentia coil, used to radiate authority and the power of restricted knowledge. Now he simply looks broken. His raiment is soiled with dark red bloodstains and black blotches of sacred unguents. His mechadendrites wriggle sluggishly like dying snakes. Pascal does not look at you, for his gaze is focused inside his own body. There is a horrible gaping wound in his chest, and you see glinting, changing mechanisms squirming within. Pascal has plunged his fingers into the wide, dripping maw of the wound, and is in the process of palpating his metal innards with great care. That's probably not great. It is difficult to say if the procedure that Pascal has undergone was torture, sacred augmentation, or vivisection. His flesh is covered in fresh sutures, interspersed with wounds that no one has taken the trouble to stitch up. An ordinary human would have long since bled out, but the Pherom Sanctum sustains the bodies of the adepts of the Machine God. His metallic insides are exposed to the eye, in all their vulgar and bloody nakedness. Pask, buddy, you with me?
This statement is true, Valen.
Pascal looks up at you. His skin has gone yellowish and clammy from the lubricant-like sweat, and there is something strange about the pupil of his left eye. You look closer and realize that its shape is no longer round. It is a tridecagon. What did they do to you? What happened?
An act of defilement. This unit was subjected to a profane invasion.
The dry words coming from the Vox speaker rustle like sand. Under the cold layer of formality, you sense panic.
A Xenos touched my Pherom Sanctum, removed parts of it, and changed other parts. Branded my true flesh with ulcers of forbidden metal.
What happened after we were captured? Tell me everything.
This unit was immobilized, transported to the laboratorium of a Xenos with the designation Tervantius, the arch-machinator. Studied. Anatomized.
His vox begins to vibrate ominously, as if he is about to burst into a hysterical scream.
Then this unit was changed. Its sacred augmentations were subjected to restructuring. Complete replacement. Modification. Then this unit received basic medical assistance. Then this unit...
The voice from the vox speaker fades to a whisper.
Then he let me go.
Have you seen Cass? I've heard Tervantius might have her too.
No data available. Optimistic projection. She is dead.
Well, let's hope not. All right, bud. What can we do to help you out here? Just tell me what to do.
This statement is false.
The voice from the speaker becomes drier and calmer.
The impure augmentations were inserted into the technical cycle of the operation of my true flesh. Their direct excision will, with an undetermined yet high degree of probability, cause the cessation of my vital functions.
Pascal's fingers widen the edges of the wound. Blood mixed with sacred unguents trickles down his wax-like skin. His sunken chest contains more metal than you thought possible. You see the gray tissue of his lungs pierced by dozens of thin tubes. An unfamiliar organ made of synthetic fiber, imprisoned in a cage of protective rings. The wide cover over his respiratory system that disappears into his trembling larynx. All these augmetics are riddled with small grafts of xenotech, clinging to them like rust. What exactly am I looking at here? What did they do?
Detecting numerous replacements in chain of command distributors. Alterations have been made to the operational algorithm of the encoder inside my cortical augmetic.
Pascal now speaks with complete indifference and calm, as if reading out an inventory of spare parts at a warehouse.
The chemical inject analyzer has been destabilized.
He falters, and hints of humanity creep back into his voice. He sounds almost bewildered.
There are other changes. I cannot understand what they are. What their function is.
Why would they do this to you? What were they trying to accomplish?
No data available. I hypothesized that the purpose behind the alterations was entertainment, curiosity. He was curious to see what was inside me. Then he remade me to see what I would do next. He wanted to watch me rip his gifts out of myself.
All right, well, Pask, like I said, just let me know what you want to do, and I'll help you get it done.
Request denied. This unit's purity and ability to make logically sound decisions have been compromised.
Never before have you seen Pascal so lost and helpless. Okay, well, I mean, we're not exactly well equipped to deal with this right now, but if you're still operational, we are getting out of here. Perhaps you could just keep it together for now, and we'll deal with it once we're safe?
Request denied due to violation of the 9th Universal Law. The alien mechanism is a perversion of the true path.
There is resignation in Pascal's voice. Oh boy. Okay, and see, here we pay the price for relying on Cass to do all the talking for us. That aside, I suppose I suppose as an adherent to the Omnissiah himself, at least as much as a layman can be. Despite being Xenos curious himself, Valen wouldn't necessarily push it on Pascal. Not if Pascal himself is also showing hesitance. Like, I'm all for encouraging him when he's curious, but maybe you're right. We should get that stuff out of you. The sound of vox static is Pascal's only response. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we get you properly organized?
The probability of total success is low due to expected premature cessation of vital functions.
There is no fear in Pascal's voice. He is not trying to dissuade you, merely informing you. I mean, Pask, buddy, we've got to do something. It's either leave it in or take it out. I'm not seeing any other options here. If you want it out, we need to get it out. At your command, Pascal sinks his metal hand deep into the wound in his chest and clutches something. You hear a metallic creak, and then his fingers loosen powerlessly.
Request denied. This unit's motivational complex is weakened.
Yeah, can't really blame you on that, bud. Alright, Pask, we gave it a shot, but back to plan A. We'll focus on getting out of here, and we'll deal with it once we're safe. Pascal forces himself upright and says in a faltering voice,
This unit is ready to serve. Omnissiah, have mercy on me.
Yeah, may he have mercy on us all. Alright, so what's the deal here? Unholy Flesh, a blasphemous Xenos artisan, has incorporated unholy augmetics into Pascal's body. Okay, but what does it actually do? -10 willpower. Okay, I mean, not ideal, but not entirely insurmountable. Willpower is not exactly a stat he makes heavy use of. At least not mechanically. Though, story-wise, it might have some negative repercussions long-term if we can't get it tended to. Yeah, aside from that, I'm not seeing any other drawbacks. One sec, let me get a gander at that level up real quick. And we're back. Alright, let's get this done. And of course, we're going to go ahead and bump tech use. His secondary, at least for now, is demolitions, which we've got covered by Argenta. Though long-term, well, we'll come back to that in a moment. There is a bit of a twist with what happened to our unfortunate tech priest. And then as far as talents go, nothing all that fancy here. We're ignoring Grand Strat as per usual. And instead, I think we'll go ahead and rebank Medicae Mechadendrite, which he did have previously, but I ended up dropping during the respec since we moved away from Medicae and handed that off to Kibbles. Also currently covered by Argenta, albeit at a much lesser capacity. She's not exactly the most academically learned individual. And then aside from that, we've got Pask fitted with some very basic gear. Not a whole lot to play with right now, but I did what I could. Hey Rain, what's up, baby? But more notably, back on skills real quick. Apparently the other effect of that weird new implant, or series of implants, is that it fairly significantly boosted Pascal's Xenos lore. not just the plus 20 points we're seeing there, but I believe he also used to have a minus 30 malice from his Tech Priest origin, which it also seems to have removed. So, if I'm recalling that correctly, that's a full 50-point swing on Xenos lore, which is not insubstantial. I mean, don't get me wrong, we'll still try to resolve his issue if we can. But I'm just saying, if for some reason we can't, minus 10 willpower might be more than a fair trade-off for plus 50 to Xenos lore, especially if it does come down to us not keeping Yurliet around. I mean, I'm not planning on killing her or anything, but I don't know if we'll continue traveling with her past Act 3. Not after this degree of betrayal. That is, however, something that we'll worry about later down the line. Likely with the assistance of the Raiders. I'll probably put it up to a vote. I will note, however, that as far as our companions go, Yurliet was always one of the ones who barely made the cut. And, you know, we do have another new companion in the wings. Technically two, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be shooting one of them in the face. But, you know, again, we'll see. Who knows what the future holds? It is a mystery. That's it. Let's push on. Oh, you know what? We are right here. We should probably pop down to the Mangled sector real quick. We know there's at least 2 items there we have to collect. Should be a quick in and out. I'm pretty sure the Commissar is relocated to Mal's old digs. Closer proximity to the arena portal and all. We'll just grab what we can, do a quick sweep. Then push back up. Oh, right. Safe is still below 50. That's why I didn't grab it. I'll think on that one. But we can at least go grab this. This should be an easy check. Oh, shit. Hi. Hey there. Katanos? Chatanos? Thanos? My goodness, look at that guy. Yeah, that is definitely a pain engine. One of the rank and file viewers commented on it last time round, back when we first picked up Abby, that it was likely this thing, a Katanos, a specialized pain engine that apparently saps the vitality of its victims. Okay, I mean, I did not come down here looking for a fight, but if we can fix Abby while we're down here, then all the better. Let's hang back. I'm not seeing any range weapons on that thing, so we'll try to play the range game. Disarray, nice. Oh, help. Guess we're not helping that poor guy. Alright, let's get a gander at the terrain here. That thing looks like a double wide, so I mean, in theory, if we park back here, it might not even be able to reach us. Let's set our snipers here. We'll move them if we need to, but ideally we'll be able to slow this thing down or immobilize it often enough that it won't ever even reach us. I'm guessing it'll take the shortest route to try to reach us, so this middle path here. We'll set Abby and Pask flanking that. Actually, let's tuck Pask a little further back. We'll keep him on support. Here we go. Pask up first. Set zones.
Request approved.
I will say I would definitely feel better about this if we had Cass on hand. Her forced moves and immobilizing gaze would make it a whole lot easier to wrangle this thing. But hopefully we should be good. Yurliet's got the immobilizing trap. Val slows on hit. Here he comes. Oh boy, that was actually a lot farther than I was hoping it would move. Keep Argenta on its flank. No cover, no chance of friendly fire. Double burst. Okay, okay. Less impressive on the second go, but that's fine. Slap a trap. And fall back. We'll go all the way back here where it's theoretically safe. Then put a shot into its rear. I think it's the snipers who will be doing the heavy lifting on this one. And Val, fall back. Ooh, though not nearly as far as I'd like. That does not inspire confidence, but it should keep us one step ahead.
It's as good as done.
Real shot. Then hemorrhage. 2 chances to trigger slow.
I'll see to it personally.
Nice. Oh, shit. Hold on. Wait. Oh, my goodness. Oh, well. Well, we did land the slow for all the good that did us, which was apparently none. Huh. I mean, I'm just going to say it now. If that thing can go out of turn and is strong enough to one-shot Abby, we might be in some serious trouble here. But we'll go down fighting. Pask on point. He's going to need all the help he can get.
Don't you die on me now!
Fuck's sake. What the... I don't... Okay, well, I mean... What do I even say to that? Hi. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna shoot you? Oh. Tell my wife I said hello. Oh, okay, that's why. That attack it keeps leading with cuts all your stats in half.
I'll do it. This is why I was chosen.
Hey, okay, well, Yurliet coming in clutch. I'd say that's a point in favor of forgiveness. The biomechanical creature is flailing its limbs faintly. Its body is broken and bears the signs of combat, but it seems no one is planning to repair it. You can see the glistening flesh under the cracked carapace and the bunches of wires that permeate it. The armor plates rise heavily, and the creature emits a wistful, creaking sigh, full of regret. The claw on Pascal's mechadendrite clangs loudly. The visor emits a series of clicks, switching the observation spectrum. Pascal's hands automatically reach for the combi tool on his belt, even as his eyes closely watch the dying creature. Every limb of the creature, the hard ones on skeletal paws and the flexible ones on metallic cords, is equipped with a variety of implements similar to surgical tools. The jagged circular saws, twisted drills, and vibrating monoscalpels promise unbearable pain. You can clearly see the inside of the mechanism through the holes in its armor. Its gut can open to drag a hamstrung victim inside. Once the victim finds themselves in the monster's stomach, they will be pierced by injectors that will liquefy them. The substance will then drain to the reservoirs at the tail end of the creature. Can you understand me? The creature emits a series of wheezing sounds. Was it an answer, moans of agony, or just the normal rumbling of its mechanism? There is no way to tell.
It is trying to communicate.
Is it? Can you tell me what you are? The creature responds with a series of choking and snarling sounds. After a moment, as if realizing that its language is not clear to you, it extends a fighting limb in your direction in a menacing gesture. The message is clear. I am a warrior. I am a killer. This is an engine of pain, Alantech. An executioner created by the depravity of my twisted cousins. Living flesh fused to a mechanism whose sole purpose is to inflict as much pain as it can. Yurliet's face is contorted with bitterness and disgust. The Dark Ones are caught in a cycle of torment, desperately seeking pleasure in the suffering of others. This machine is but an instrument of their endless desire, a symbol of what they are willing to do to slake the thirst and fear that consumes them. Well, the cycle has ended for this thing at least. Its time is done. The creature's servomotors howl as they send the last remaining energy into its body. One of the limbs lunges at you, but the charge is not enough for the strike to reach its target. Something bursts in the creature's gut, and a quiet squelch and a puddle of oily ichor spreads from under its belly. Also, its entire body exploded, but that's neither here nor there. Pask, would you like to get a closer look at this thing?
Request approved.
Pascal eagerly unfolds his mechadendrites, and they all rush toward the monster. A shrieking drill cuts deep into the armor, while a claw hungrily snaps off chunks of the flesh, pierced with strands of metal wire. The creature thrashes and wheezes, but cannot escape the merciless vivisection. The collected samples are sent to a portable analyzer, and the tech priest's visor clicks, recording the procedure in picked images. Pascal suddenly freezes and takes a little step back.
Process interrupted. An operational collision has been detected.
What happened? What's wrong?
This unit is under the influence of conflicting impulses. The operational vector of cognition dictates the necessity of studying this subject. The operational vector of obeying the Omnissiah and his universal laws dictates the necessity of recoiling from the subject and purifying it. The operational vector of adoration before his might dictates the necessity of reverence for the subject, where the natural spirit resides in synthesis with that of the machine.
I see. Well, what have you deduced thus far? Perhaps that can help us decide how to proceed.
Presenting a hypothesis. This construct is a mobile execution chamber. A subject is immobilized by the implements, placed inside the construct, and subjected to highly painful disposal via chemical injection. The biological remains are preserved in the built-in reservoir of the construct. The initial chemical analysis of the remains yields an abnormal result.
The box emits a clanging metallic note.
It is as if the pain of the victims of this machine is dissolved in them. It is circulating in the metal veins of this creature. It can feel everything. The nature of the damage indicates that the unit has been in combat. I hypothesize that its constructor sent it into the arena. Based on its current condition, the result of the combat tests was unsatisfactory. Otherwise, the unit would have been repaired.
So what do you think? Is this a perversion of the sacred tenets of technology? Is it an outrage in the eyes of the Omnissiah?
The categorization is correct. The object is a perversion and an outrage, one dangerously close to the creation of the anathematized, abominable intelligence. But it is also a miracle of his boundless polymorphism.
Pascal's voice carries a metallic note. Interesting. So, fix it, which sounds like a terrible idea, all things considered. It was trying to kill us right up until it ran out of power. Or mercy kill it, or purge it. Different tones, but same general end result. Or encourage him to study it, which does not necessarily mean killing it, but does likely mean extending its torment via vivisection. And I've got to say, whilst Val is definitely Xenos curious, he is also an adherent to the observations of the Omnissiah. So I think, at least for Pascal's sake, and for the more merciful aspect of Val's character, we should end its suffering. I trust your judgment, Pask. If you think this thing is alive and in pain, perhaps it's best to end it.
Request approved as doctrinally correct.
Pascal leans over the creature, and the drill whirs. It sounds even, soothing, and right. The tech priest's voice vibrates with shrill, otherworldly frequencies.
Let the cycle be discontinued. Let your suffering be discontinued.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. Relatively speaking, I mean, obviously it's still pretty messed up all around, but then again, what about the Drukhari isn't? Oh, shoot, but perhaps studying it was how we were supposed to reverse this. It also does seem weird in retrospect that Abby never said a thing about us taking it down. Like when we were trying to talk to it, you would have expected him to interject, to demand that it heal him or something to that effect, even if it physically couldn't. Very strange. Maybe the homunculus can help us with that. Though we did at least pull a level up, as well as several mangled limbs. I guess we should go ahead and get those tended to as well. Fortunately, that at least is a fairly simple fix.
Field medicine at its finest.
Oh, and it did drop something. Good. Katanos Pain Converter. The Katanos xenomechanism that devoured its victim's suffering and converted it into energy. Marked as a quest item. No obvious way to use it, but I have to imagine that's involved with Abby's thing. Also a heavy Drukhari splinter cannon. Completely useless to us, but we'll take it. How about you, enthralled marauder? What have you got? Heavy leather armor. Well, I've got to say, that's a mite bit underwhelming. Okay, well, this is not at all what I set out to do when I came down here, but apparently it is done. For better or worse. Not sure I handled that right, but we did at least pull a level up from it. So with that in mind, I feel like that brings us to a pretty good place to call it. We do still have the treasure here and the safe over yonder, but this level up might actually improve our chances with both. So we'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take stock of our current inventory, figure out what we're doing with these level ups, and we will pick up here next time as we collect the rest of our plunder, and then check in with the local homunculi. Or, failing that, at least pay the commissar a visit. I'm sure he'll be thrilled. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
Don't you die on me now!